everybody. Welcome in. Fresh edition of Fresh Takes with Russo and Felice. Going to be an exciting one. A lot of things happening. Hopefully we return the fact we get to break baseball news here today. But I'm, of course, Paul Russo. Across from me, as always, the man, the myth. Not hooded, not gloved. First time since November 12th that he's been this way. Nick Felice. Nick. I'm not too sure if that's the actual stat, but, you know.
Hey, it's going to be nice this week, especially starting tomorrow. You know, I think it's supposed to get close to 60. So we had that one day last Sunday. So liking that, you know, tournament started tonight, but the big days are right around the corner. You know, you got the state championships and girls basketball.
Yep.
This weekend as well. So, you know, it's exciting times. But, Paul, I got to ask, what kind of hat is that you got on today?
Well, it's one that I've worn before. This is the Miami Marlins City Edition from last year, honoring the Havana Sugar Kings, minor league AAA team from the 50s and 60s, primarily the 50s, though before the embargo happened. So honoring the Cuban heritage, and justifiably so, of Miami and the great sport of baseball. So...
yeah.
Worn it before. It's been a while. It's been a while.
I was going to say, I don't remember, but
I've definitely worn it at your house.
Okay.
It was a go-to summer hat.
You know.
So.
Well, speaking, I know we're going to get into it. Is baseball first?
No.
Well, anyway, I was going to...
We have more pressing things. I didn't do some homework for nothing.
Oh, wow. Wow, showing me up. But anyway, I was going to say, speaking of my house, we talked the other day, and I asked you, I know this may be a little tease, I asked you.
Little mini tease.
If you were surprised if baseball came back this early, and you said yes.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of riding they didn't get it done, and the way it did sound, so I don't think it's really spilling tea at this point, but if they didn't get the deal done within the past week, it sounds like we were not having baseball until at least sometime in July. More than likely all-star break time, so...
and they're getting a full season in this.
Yeah, I mean, they're getting 162. Going to have some doubleheaders. Really, really, really old school ball, which I'm really excited for. 9-inning doubleheaders actually on the schedule. So that's going to be really cool. Definitely, hopefully, fingers crossed, I'm not the biggest going into New York City guy. I've made my one trip down there for the next 5 years within the past couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But, hopefully maybe scoot down to Pittsburgh, go over to Cleveland, something like that for one of the doubleheaders if they're on a weekend. I would imagine that's what they'll do. I mean, I feel like they'd be dumb business individuals if they didn't do it that way, but it's the MLB we're talking about here, so who knows?
Maybe we'll get some fresh air out in the north of the border.
Yeah.
Toronto's got a nice little special team.
Yeah, I have my enhanced license, so I can head across. So.
I don't have either, so I'm going to have to get that.
Yeah, you're definitely not going to be able to head with us.
I was thinking sneaking over.
Yeah, that's how you not get back into America. Think about that. Anyway. So not much in terms of numerically the number of topics, but a lot to get to, obviously. March Madness. Tips off technically right now. I mean, first of the play-in games is going on right now. But we'll break down. I don't think we'll do all 32 first-round games. But we'll hit as many as we can.
Yeah, I want to see what you got. I want to see your homework there.
Yeah, so I'll get into that when we get to the other thing there. Yeah, we'll talk some baseball. Obviously, MLB Back, so we'll discuss kind of like what to expect with this deal and more or less the hot stove stuff happening. We've had it was really exciting there for a minute, but now it's kind of cooled off to a degree again. I don't know what to really make of it, but we'll get into that because obviously moves are going to have to get done quickly. So
yeah, I'm excited. I think it's kind of cool that it got pushed back a week. Mm-hmm. So now opening day and the start of the Masters are on the same day. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be nuts. And you got the NCAA championship game earlier that week. So
yeah, it'll be a fun week.
And I still, I'm biased with April because it's my birthday month, but I think April's the best month for sports. It's got a lot to offer.
NFL draft, yeah, the
start of the NHL, NBA playoffs,
yeah.
Final Four.
Well, for sure NHL playoffs. NBA playoffs, do they start April this year or no?
I think they usually start in April, about the same time.
I don't know.
NHL is actually longer this year.
Yeah,
because of the delay, that
right.
break that they never had, what they had, but
Well, yeah, they were able to get games in there. So.
Yeah, you got the NFL draft, the Masters, good month.
Yeah,
October can compete, but
all right. March Madness officially in. Want to start because there are a couple glaring, in my mind, really glaring snubs this year. That being said, the teams, I wouldn't say they didn't do themselves any favors, but a team like Richmond, who was, I think, one of the first four and next four technically out, winning the A10 tournament, really hurt. In my mind, the two biggest snubs in Oklahoma and Wyoming, and then probably SMU I'd have in the snub department too, I think. Well, Wyoming didn't make it. I lied. I forgot Wyoming.
Yeah, I thought Wyoming.
I forgot Wyoming didn't make it. So
tonight.
SMU gets bumped up to number 2. Yeah, I mean, it's tough. So I'm always intrigued by how the NCAA actually does their 1 through 68 seedings. Because to me, when they have the play-in games for a non-16 seed, say like Rutgers and Notre Dame, in your case, Nick, where do those two actually rank near each other and next to each other? Well, Rutgers is the 44th seed in the 1 to 68 range, and Notre Dame is 47. Yeah, I mean, technically kind of close. Look at a game going on tonight, Texas Southern and Texas A&M Corpus Christi. They're 67 and 68. They're actually both technically the two worst statistical teams. Fun fact, no matter which ranking you go down, I lean on, and the numbers you'll hear me say are based on the KenPom rankings. I do lean into KenPom quite a bit. Used to be a thing I used to not like. And then once I've really kind of started digging into the more analytical side of things and trying to understand that, I like that because to me, it takes into account obviously the analytical stuff without going too far away from traditional stuff. I think having the perfect combination is a really good thing, and the right thing. So no matter the sport, but that's a different discussion. But yeah, I mean, you look at Texas Southern and Texas A&M CC. Texas Southern 188 out of 358, and A&M CC 243 out of 358. So they were literally the two worst teams. They got in obviously via automatic berths, but yeah, there's that. And then obviously too, look at a team, for example, like Delaware. They made a very big run in the Colonial Athletic to win the conference tournament there, and that's how they got in. Certainly hindered teams there. A couple other glaring, I wouldn't say maybe glaring omissions, but certainly ones that kind of raised my eyebrow to an extent. Was it Drake? I thought they had an interesting case possibly. They didn't quite make it though. There. I'm going to hang my hat on the West Coast Conference a little bit here. Surprised they only got the 3 in Gonzaga, St. Mary's, and San Francisco. BYU didn't do any favors themselves in the regular season, but it's interesting to me, and I'm going to go back to this team a couple different times. Very interesting to me that Michigan made it in as a at-large, not only as an at-large, but as the 42nd overall seed. KenPom has them as the 33rd best team in the country. That being said, I don't know how you have them in, but not Oklahoma, who KenPom has ranked as the 30th best team in the country. The seeds it's an interesting year where the seeds kind of fall compared to the KenPom rankings. Obviously, everybody has their own preference, and I've made that. Nick could be somebody who leans very much so on the Lenardi rankings or Chad Ford ranking, something like that. It's just interesting to me, so I'm just going to go to really interesting and to me to make light of examples. Now, Wisconsin does deserve to be in the tournament. They're the 9th overall seed. They're 34th overall in the country, according to KenPom. And then Providence is the 15th overall seed. And I've been a big Providence guy all year, but through the course of the past few weeks, they've dropped down to 49th, according to KenPom.
And I heard Ed Cooley came out and said they battled some injuries this year, and they said the record doesn't even show that they are even better.
Yeah.
So Ed Cooley's a good coach. Providence, I think it could be a sleeper pick that people might want to pick this year. When I think of snubs, I think of Texas A&M.
Yeah, they're another one that jumps out.
But they had a huge losing streak in the middle of this season, which it's never good to lose. I think they lost like 8 games in a row or something like that. It was pretty long. It was like an extensive amount of time, and so that definitely was their big downfall. Even though they were 1 game away from getting the automatic bid, but I think they could have had a case. But these are teams that are right on the borderline. Obviously, I'm happy to see Notre Dame in there making it. Were they the last team in?
I think the last team that technically got in with an at-large was... I believe the last team that got in with an at-large, I want to say, is New Mexico State at 50. Actually, no, that wouldn't be the case.
It's got to be one of the play-in teams.
Well, I mean, technically, but the last 2 are 2 automatic bid teams because they won the conference tournaments. Anyway. Actually, I think technically the last team that got in this year, and that's only because of that weird loophole, was Jacksonville State. So for those of you who don't know, I'm leaving Nick up on the screen for this because he really enjoys the NCAA in this regard. Bellarmine won the what are they? Are they the they're the ASUN.
ASUN.
But they're only in their second year of being a Division I program, so the NCAA does not let them into the tournament because of that, which is utterly ridiculous. They're not allowed to go to any postseason. I say postseason tournament. I don't count the conference tournaments as postseason tournaments at this point. Not allowed to go to any postseason tournaments. It's ridiculous, dumb. Anyway, so not even the team that got second place, who I apologize if I skipped my memory right now.
Jacksonville.
Was it Jacksonville?
Got second place, but Jacksonville State made it.
Yeah, because Jacksonville State won the regular season.
Yeah.
Yeah, just it's wild. So yeah, I think technically Jacksonville State was the last team in because of the loophole, which that might be one of the last times you really are able to hear that. Anyway.
I mean, I'm a little biased, but I personally don't think Notre Dame should be in the play-in game.
No, they should not be.
I've heard a lot of hate towards the ACC this year, and it doesn't matter. We were second place in the ACC, 15-5. We got wins over North Carolina, Kentucky, at Miami. Just some decent wins. No, we don't have some of the wins that these other schools have because they overrank all these teams, and yet the Big Ten's not going to win a national championship for the 22nd straight year. And but that's another story. I'm happy we're in. First time since I was in college. And which is a while ago now for me.
Most head coaches don't make it. Mike Bray did.
Yeah, it's a good story. A lot of guys on the team, seniors on the team, never made the tournament. They made it this year, so I'm looking forward to it tomorrow against Rutgers, an old Big East matchup. So happy to be in. I'm upset they're in the play-in game, but I love the draw. I think Alabama. I don't care if it's even Rutgers who moves on. I think Alabama's going to lose in that second round game. Alabama's not playing good right now.
Yeah, Alabama's a really interesting case because numerically the numbers do like them. But I'm kind of with you. I don't know.
I think the streak finally ended where playing game teams have advanced every year to the round of 32. I think that streak finally ended, but it happens all the time. Or a playing game. Well,
yeah, I mean, look at the what year was it? Was it the first or second year of having multiple ones? Syracuse made it as the 11th seed in the play-in and made the run to the Final Four. I mean, It's possible. I think
Syracuse especially because they only have
Yeah.
2 days to prepare for that zone.
I don't know if it's going to happen this year. I think if anything, the best shot of it is probably your Notre Dame Fighting Irish, Nick. Only because they to me, they give a very unique set of circumstances to a team. Notre Dame has a bigger starting five than what a lot of people run now. So
if you're filling out your bracket,
Yeah.
if you've already filled out your bracket,
and I will take a page out of your book, it's because it's what you say, but we both believe in it. Notre Dame has a ton of experience,
yes,
which is what you need this time of year.
you might see a lot of bracket erasers.
Right.
People are going to be erasing their bracket and switching it because there's 2 Big Ten teams that play these next 2 days.
Right.
Indiana and Rutgers. You're going to learn a lot about the Big Ten. If
I'm
things
not
don't go well
I'm
with
not a
things.
big Indiana guy. We'll touch on that.
Yeah,
So let's go through.
Mike Woodson's first
I
year.
don't know how you feel this year. I know that there is numbers. I think it's every year there's at least now been 1-2 seed that falls to a 15. The past, I don't think it's 10, but I think it's pushing like 9 out of 10 or 8 out of 10.
They've won 9 times.
Yeah. I'm being honest. I don't see that happening this year.
What are your thoughts of Duke getting a 2?
I don't think any of the matchups work well. Duke at 2, given the region, I understand. Overall, I mean, so Duke is, if you want to go by numbers, they are the last of the 2 seeds. They are the 8th overall.
I want to take everything out.
So-
I know Duke has that big win over number 1 overall Gonzaga, but it's crazy to me. It's just crazy. I mean, you just take everything out of it. Duke was 1 game better than Notre Dame in the conference standings this year, and they were a 2 seed while we're playing in the playing game.
Right.
It's just it blows my mind that those quality wins
Well,
that they have
that's the way the
difference.
ACC has been all year, though. I remember. I mean, this was back beginning of February. They still had Miami as a first or last 4 in. I'm like, that's insane. Like, Miami has been absurdly good all year.
That's the problem with the preseason rankings, which is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
You think, oh, it's just the preseason rankings, but if they rank you 70th best team in the country to start the year, that is a huge uphill climb to get towards the top of the Division I.
Right. Okay, so that being said, I don't know where you're saying. Like I said, I don't think any of the 2 seeds fall to any of the 15s this year. I know a lot of people are saying the Villanova-Delaware matchup is, I get Delaware's hot, but they backed themselves into the conference tournament win in the grand scheme of things. Obviously, you have to be there. Delaware is 145 on Ken Pom. I'm not a big fan. They're surrounded by other very fluky teams in terms of Ken Pom ranking and their own overall seeding in the tournament. I'm not a fan there. If you're going to pick the upset, I wouldn't even probably do the Duke or Kentucky one. I would honestly probably go to Auburn just out of principle, the way that they have been playing. And even then, Jacksonville State has been off now, I think, borderline 2.5 weeks. Might be actually closer to 2 full weeks. But, I'm not, and I really don't think a 16 is beating a 1 this year. I don't see it. If you were to force me to pick one, in all honesty, I might take the winner of Wright State and Bryant tomorrow over Arizona. And that's just because Wright State and Bryant, I've kind of followed all year. Ken Pom's not high on them. They're both, oddly enough, right above the Texas Southern A&M C&C thing at 182 and 183 and 65 and 66. But that being said, that's kind of where I stand there. Nick, if you see any matchups on the bracket that you want to kind of go to, speak up. If not,
big upset alert.
Sure.
I'll put afternoon game, Thursday. Good team. Just won the SEC tournament. You know who I'm talking about. Tennessee is always tend to struggle in the NCAA tournament. They win games, but they're usually close. Not saying they're going to win. I mean, not saying they're going to lose, but
Yeah,
Longwood, 14th seed. Watch out for them against Tennessee.
Yeah, Longwood's first NCAA berth. I think it's their 5th year at Division I or something like that, or 6th year. They're out of the SoCon.
I tell UConn to watch out, too. You always see upsets in that 5-12, 6-11.
I normally would be with you on that front, Nick. I don't see Tennessee making a run. Their second round matchup is really going to be a hell for them because especially if it's Colorado State, who I think will beat Michigan. That's going to be a tough one, I think, for them.
I can see Iowa State beating LSU.
Yeah, LSU. Well, LSU is the team if you're going to pick to outright avoid. They would probably be it. Will Wade's already out. They had another level 1 sanctioning come upon them within the past week, and they already fired him. So I'm not too sure which assistant coach is going to be the interim. I can't remember who I saw it was. But that's a team that's been embroiled in controversy now for what feels like the better part of a decade overall.
How about the start Friday? Ohio State versus Sister Jean.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not big on Ohio State. Loyola's been good all year. I believe Loyola. Let me double check. Yeah, Loyola. If you look at Ken Pom, Loyola is a better team than Ohio State.
Yeah.
Ohio State. I'm very skeptical of the Big Ten this year. They did a lot of beating up on each other, as they kind of usually do. That's been the trend the past few seasons. Shout out. Hey, okay, I'm gonna do this now. Look, they beat Syracuse this year. Not a ton to hang your hat on, but
Ohio State.
No. The team out of, is it technically Oneida or Vernon? I don't know.
Oh, Hamilton.
But shout out Colgate. Colgate got themselves a really fantastic first round matchup against Wisconsin. I don't know if they actually pull it off, but that is a matchup that does smell. You smell the underdog cooking on the grill.
Fun story. Speaking of Tennessee, speaking of Colgate, 2019 when I was in Vegas,
right.
I predicted Colgate to beat Tennessee. It was a 15 versus a 2. And they had them on the ropes the entire game, and they almost did it. So I'm always on board with Colgate. It's definitely this ain't just Syracuse's little brother anymore. This is a team that's become a good young mid-major. They're in it a lot now. So it's a good little team. They play who?
They got Wisconsin.
Yeah, I'm not high on Wisconsin. Never am.
Colgate's issue is Colgate's issue this year is the Patriot as a whole, and it's not like the Patriots exactly
I like Murray State.
A gleaning sign usually, but
I like Murray State.
Oh, I disagree.
You like San Francisco?
I do like San Fran. I like the Dons.
What do you think of Vermont against Arkansas?
Yeah, that's another interesting matchup. Vermont out of the American East. Such schools such as SUNY Binghamton and SUNY Albany play in the American East.
I love how
formerly SUNY Stony Brook.
I love how Vermont makes it every year. They're like a 13 when Albany makes it. They're 16.
I mean, the Catamounts, they tend to they've had the hold. Not true hold, but they've been pretty much the power out of the American East for the better part of about 15 or so years now. Actually, if you want to make the case, you could probably make 20 dating back to the Syracuse upset. So, that's a tough matchup for them with Arkansas. That being said, Vermont actually kind of punches above their weight amongst the other kind of we'll call the sub half of the tournament teams. Their Ken Palm is 59. It's well above the top, pretty much fifth of the NCAA. So I don't know if they got the athletes to really hang with Arkansas. Arkansas is a really good athletic team. Maybe not the purest of Division I basketball, but they got a ton of it. Coach, who's down there now? What's his face? Oates, Nate Oates. Wasn't he one of the UB guys? I think he was, wasn't he?
Nate Oates he's Alabama.
So who's at Arkansas?
The Nevada coach.
Oh yeah. You're right. Yeah. I mean, he coaches fast pace. I mean, that's just the way his brand is. I mean, that was the way it was in Nevada with the Martin twins and the twins after them, who I can't remember. So, yeah, that's a tough one. Tough one for the Catamounts. If they had really any of the other three or the four seeds rather, I mean, UCLA would provide a fairly interesting matchup.
And then when you look at Purdue, you always got to be the team that plays the Ivy League.
Yeah,
you always got to keep an eye out.
What's interesting is the Ivy League could have made a case for one at-large bid. They really could have. I thought Princeton had a legitimate shot, but they did themselves no favor. They in all fairness, Princeton probably should have won the tournament to lock the bid, but they just didn't. So, yeah.
And let's remember this. Me and Paul historically awful bracket challenge people, usually towards the bottom. So if you're taking notes watching this, you're in the wrong class.
Yeah, you really are. Okay, let's cover a couple more games before we transition out of here. What do you feel about UNC Marquette? UNC has been the most inconsistent Power 5 team in the country this year.
Oh, yeah.
Marquette started off hot, kind of fizzled there for a little bit, now rebounded kind of strong. The first year of Shaka Smart
I'll let you know
Milwaukee.
If Rutgers takes care of business tomorrow against Notre Dame, UNC is going to lose this game. I'd be nervous for the ACC.
Wow.
If Rutgers win by 20 points or 15 points tomorrow.
You think so, eh?
I'd be nervous for all the ACC teams.
Okay.
But if it's the opposite, then I don't know. I think UNC can get past this game. They play Baylor, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's still a tough.
Can I tell you? Can I say one ACC team that I'm not worried about in the first round? That I think will pull off the upset? Tech over Texas.
Tech's been playing well, so they play Texas.
Yep.
Texas has always been known to be a first round exit, but
horns down, baby.
Virginia Tech's been playing well.
Yeah.
They continue to keep this momentum going in this tournament. You never know, but it's gonna be
another Big Ten upset. By the way, is Michigan State losing to Davidson.
Yeah, what's Michigan State even doing that high?
So Michigan State actually, they're the 27th overall seed. So I don't know if they're really all that high. In essence, if anything,
I don't think they're very good.
Right.
I don't know how Michigan even got a bye. They should be in the play-in.
Yeah, Michigan shouldn't be in my mind. It's signed and sealed. I don't think they should be in. So
you should not at all.
No.
Obviously, they can't have Big Ten teams playing each other in the play-in, but
right.
Kick one of them out.
Ken Palm likes them. They're 33rd according to Ken Palm, but that being said, Oklahoma's above them. I think SMU is right behind them, who I would have put in over them.
What about the top seeds? You like them? You think they did them right?
Yeah. This was an interesting year. Probably about as good as you probably could have gotten, given the way the tournaments kind of shook out. So,
who you like to win it all?
It's been a weird year with them.
Did we freeze?
Yeah, we.
Maybe one of these years. It might be this year. I don't know if I'm taking them to win it all, but team I want to take. Hey, we're back.
Yeah, I got. Apologize to the people on YouTube here. I don't know what kind of happened there, but we're back. So.
My pick to win it all this year is Actually, fun fact: I have not filled out a bracket yet.
Well, neither have I. I'm waiting. I'm waiting this year.
To win it all. I don't know. I don't know. Is that all right?
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know. I don't have an answer for you. One, I don't see Gonzaga winning. Two, I never see Kansas winning. Three, I don't think Baylor can win back-to-back. And four, Arizona, really?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if I see a 1 seed. It's one of the others. I think I'm taking the field over the 1 seeds.
I actually like Kentucky.
Okay. They got to shoot the ball.
Yeah, Ken Pom has them as the third best team in the country. They're one of the middle two of the number 2 seeds. They're 6 overall, but I'm going Kentucky. I think. I mean, it's a crapshoot. I don't know. Like you said, we are not the right people to be discussing this.
No, but it's just a great time.
Yeah,
everyone loves filling out brackets. This week's always nuts, but maybe this is our year, Paul. Maybe this is our year.
All right. Speaking of year, the MLB is back. Because we had a closed VMix, everything went away. So we're with this one. The MLB is back, Nick. They finally reached an agreement last week. Last Wednesday, technically. Wednesday night, yeah. So, what's new? Universal DH, we all saw that coming. Expanded playoffs to 12 teams, which I don't have a problem with. I know a lot of people do. I don't have a problem with it.
At least they're not picking who they want to play.
I think why people are more upset about it because they see expansion. Look, every other league has 8 teams. I think the NFL has 7. But the other 2, NBA and NHL, have 8. Who cares? 6 teams. I think, in baseball, more times than not, you're still going to get probably the better teams anyway going to the surface in the postseason. So Universal DH, that extra innings, allegedly no more ghost runner. That's apparently getting revisited, though. That's popped up. Who knows what's going to happen there. Doubleheaders, obviously, at least this season with that. Shift is banned. Not a big fan of that. I get where they're kind of going with it, but not a big fan of it. It's not going to affect me watching.
I'm a huge
fan. So that's where we're looking, at least with the return of baseball and the agreements anyway. So, what are your thoughts, Nick?
Big fan of this shit, getting rid of the shifts, because I think it's ruined baseball. And with the averages, now people are going to be swinging normally again. There won't be a guy up the middle. Pitch clock, thought about it first, wasn't a fan. Coming a little bit around on it. It'll be interesting to see how pitchers adjust because they've never used that in their entire life, going all the way back to T-ball.
Well, some pitchers have had it in the minor leagues.
Exactly. A Max Scherzer has not used this since even before T-ball. He's never used it, but right. So it'll be interesting to see that until we get the first ever walk-off shot clock. But going back to the shifts, I would say I say you should be allowed to shift in the 9th inning and extra innings because you want to come up with the best game plan. But innings 1 through 8, nope, should not be allowed to shift. You should be in your spot, and that's it. But it sounds like they're just going to do that for the whole game, so that'll be pretty cool. So obviously happy to be back, but also remember I'm a Pittsburgh Pirates fan, so there's nothing to get too excited about this year. 2 years from now, we're going to run the tables and win it all. Love the young guys. Got a couple of them up already. Got to make a few more trades. But for a stretch there from 2023 to 2026, watch out. But, happy to be back. Like I said before, it's cool that I'm a huge Masters fan, huge golf fan, and I'm a huge baseball fan. The fact that the Masters and the opening day is the same day, that's going to be great for me. I'll wake up early, turn on I guess I do have ESPN Plus now, so turn on that in the morning, MLB Network on the side, get ready for the afternoon games. Not your typical opening day like we've seen a couple years now, where everybody plays, but it's still going to be a great day. Pirates play, so I'll be excited. Don't care about the off-season free agency that much because as a Pirates fan, you never do, and I don't care what anyone else does. So that's really that. But very excited that we're going to get a whole season in. I'm excited to play fantasy baseball, and yeah, I'm just excited. It's always a good time to see baseball coming around until May. But like I said, in 2023, which is actually next year, so I'll be really excited then. That's all I got to say, Paul, on that. Happy to be back.
All right. So let's move into the hot stove stuff that's occurred over the course of the past, I guess now borderline week, but not much had gotten really fired off until really over the weekend. Mainly, in my mind, what is now the fact that Freddie Freeman definitely is not returning to Atlanta because Atlanta traded for Matt Olson, sent Christian Pache and their catcher, who I always mispronounce, so I always just call him the catching Ryan Langerhans, the top two prospects in the Braves pipeline. I believe he is the top catcher in the MLB pipeline, but I could be wrong. Or second one. Yeah, so, but obviously in turn with that, I remember saying to Nate Sharman in here that they wouldn't probably be sending the prospects if they just thought that Olsen would be a rental for the year that they would have him because he's a free agent next year. Quickly signed to extension, 8 years today, got announced. So locked in for the future. 28 years old. He's 4 years younger than Freeman. So that's an interesting, that's pretty telling in my mind what Freeman was kind of looking at possibly for a deal. That being said, now the market for Freeman has been kind of interesting. A couple new suitors have kind of jumped in the mix with the Padres and Red Sox. Dodgers and Yankees are still in, but I've seen that the Yankees have maybe not been as in as people think. Interesting team to keep an eye on would be Toronto. I don't know if that's a great fit. It's an interesting play. More than anything else, Padres have thrown their hat in as well there. So, and the Reds have been on a fire sale. Shout out to my dad. I feel bad for you, but Sonny Gray's twin, Eugenio Suarez, and mainly in that deal, Jesse Winker is a Seattle Mariner now.
I like Justin Dunn, though.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan.
That's a good pickup for the Reds in that sense if you're planning the rebuild like it seems like they are, which is really weird since they seem to be all in on the past couple of years and things have just not worked out well.
I'm a little worried for Matt's team. They went out and got not too worried, but they went out and got Adam Frazier, Jesse Winker, and Robbie Ray, who are all coming off career years. So I'm intrigued to see how that plays out.
Okay, fair enough.
Those are their big acquisitions.
Yeah. Pirate great Andrew McCutchen, Milwaukee Brewer, signed with him yesterday, 1-year deal.
Just stabbed me in the heart right now.
I'm sure the Phillies one wasn't the one that stabbed you in the heart.
No, it's the Brewers.
Or the Yankees.
That one killed too. But I knew he wasn't loyal to that. He hated the whole shaving your beard thing.
Yeah, well, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news to you, but apparently that hasn't been a rule, and I don't know why people are still following it, but the Yankees got rid of that rule in like the mid-2000s.
He hated it.
Yeah. Kind of where we stand, the Rockies are being the Rockies. I don't know what the hell is going on with Trevor's story. Apparently they want Chris Bryant. I don't know what the hell's going on there. Correa's meeting with Houston. I don't know what's going on. It's been wild, and so the actual action on the stove is cooled off, but there's a lot going on behind the scenes in the kitchen, the prep work.
Freeman's going to the Dodgers. Freeman's going to the Dodgers. Like, come on. We all see it coming.
All right.
I don't like it.
I don't know. I want to think if he goes to the West Coast. He's a California kid. I think, and this is a little bit of a slap in the face to the guy he'd be doing it to, the fact that nobody's kind of recognizing the Giants as a possible suitor is very interesting to me. I think Freddie would do well in San Fran. That's a team that maybe is not this year ready to go out and actually contend for a World Series. That's a team very similar to what the Braves were the past couple
You
years.
know who probably should get them is
So.
the Angels. They need a hitter.
Well, the Angels need. There's a fly in here. What the hell?
They'll
The Angels need.
They'll probably go out and get another hitter.
All right, go ahead. Yeah.
They'll get another hitter.
I gotta deal with this fly over here.
They're finally pick up some big pitcher, and it's Noah Syndergaard, who's going to get hurt by middle of April. But, you know, they're a mess. And they got the most overrated player in baseball history in not Ohtani, Mike Trout.
Come to the dark side.
They do have Ohtani, but
Best player on the Angels, Shohei Ohtani.
yeah, there's no doubt about it, though.
Oh, and Suzuki's still available on the market, so it's interesting to kind of see what's happening there.
Not
No. I know I mispronounced the name. Sihai. I think I'm really butchering the name.
Well, I do not know the correct pronunciation, so
Yeah, he's slated to have he was been hanging out with Yu Darvish a lot. Now they have the same agent, so it could be a lot of something, could be a lot of nothing. But the Padres. And the Padres are trying to move Hosmer and Myers, so take that for what it's worth.
why are they moving Hosmer?
To cap space. Oh, by the way, folks, that's the other thing in the baseball deal. The competitive balance tax went technically down. That means the cap is slightly lower. But good news, they didn't institute a freaking floor like they should have.
What are your thoughts on the Reds-Mariners trade yesterday?
Well, obviously great for the Mariners. I guess in a way great for the Reds. I mean, you moved the Suarez contract, which wasn't working out. But the only way you're getting rid of that was obviously you have to get rid of someone or something. And in the case for the Mariners, they made it be known that it had to be Jesse Winker. And I think Winker's going to do really well in Seattle.
That's kind of bummed the Mariners didn't go after Chris Bryant.
That's a fantastic guy to get into that outfield that you don't have to worry about. Probably your starting everyday left fielder, I'm assuming. I mean, I can't imagine what else you'd really do with him. Maybe some DH work.
They were thinking Adam Frazier in the outfield, but now he's second base full time.
Yeah.
Gotta be.
It's a fun, interesting team, and how convenient that third base is still an open position for him.
Gotta be Suarez right now.
Yeah, right now. But I think you're missing what I'm getting at here. How convenient.
A-Rod's coming back.
Right. All I'm saying is there's a certain available free agent that we slightly discussed about Colorado available, and he has Seattle ties. And
Who?
Chris Bryant.
I think that's over.
I don't think so.
With Suarez, it's over.
I think you're moving a little bit too far away from the fire to smell what's cooking on the grill.
I did think Chris Bryant was going to go there, but I think it's over now with Suarez coming.
I think you're missing something on the grill. All right. That takes care of the show for the week, Nick.
Yeah.
Appreciate everybody tuning in and listening. Apologize for the hiccup there. Not too sure what's up, but I'll get to the bottom of it. Off next week, back the week after, so we can preview the Final Four, preview me going to the first NASCAR race of the year for me in Richmond.
Yeah, that's right.
The baseball preview would be the week after. So, yeah, everything's everywhere.
It was supposed to be that week.
Yeah. Nick, who you shouting out?
I'm shouting out tournament challenges this week on ESPN.com. I'm shouting out the winner from last year, Jack Bergmaster. Shout out, Jack. Is winning a fantasy sports title it's tough to repeat. To win a tournament challenge 2 years in a row, it's got to be impossible. But shout out, Jack. Best of luck, and have fun, Paul, filling out your bracket.
Thank you. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Make sure this weekend you tune into Finger Lakes One Radio. We'll be in Albany, Hudson Valley Community College, technically. East Rochester and Waterloo made their Final Four in respective girls' classes for basketball, Class C for ER, B for Waterloo. So we'll be there covering the games, doing it for them, starting at 9 a.m. Saturday, me and Nate Sharman. So make sure you tune in. Excited for that.
I'm excited.
All right. As always, everybody like, share, subscribe, all the fun stuff. Help us here. Help us at fingerlakes1.com. We'll see you in a couple weeks.